Hi, good morning and welcome back to 3R Guitars. Now I'm trying to be a bit clever here, but I don't know how it will work out. But looking good so far. Radio. You remember yesterday I made these two knobs, flying saucer knobs for it. Now they're both in wood. They're both okay, not a problem with them. But this one is a lot better than this one. You can see this one is slightly off center. One of the problems of using a drill to do a lathe's job, but this one is really nice. I'm not too bothered about them, being a bit, and this one being a bit off, but making them in wood and then painting them, it's okay. You can see the finish. It looks quite good, but I can imagine, the paint will wear off after a while, and you'll see the wood underneath. And so what I've done is I decided to make a silicon mold of this one, and I'm a tightwad, don't like spending money. And if you buy the silicon moulding resin, well, it's kind of silicon moulding shit, it's bloody expensive actually. The cheapest you can probably get it is like 20 quid. It's okay, it's not a lot of money, I know, but just to do it, I just need a little bit like this. So I had a look on the internet. It's like, is there any household items you can use to make a silicon mold? And they said, well, yeah, you can use like, a bathroom sealant, and like this, so this is about a quid a tube, and it said you can use that and squeegee a load of that out and then add corn flour to it. Don't ask me why you add corn flour to it, but which is exactly what I did with this. I squirted about, probably an eighth of a tube of that stuff in the bottom of this aerosol cap, and then mounted the knob on a bit of wood and squashed it in there. Just squashed it in there, tamped it down, sort of thing, and it seems to have made a good mould. You can't get any impression of it like that. It just looks awful. But so what I'll do now is that I'll try and mould one with epoxy and see what happens. I'm not going to use the resin I used for the top, because mixing small amounts of that is very difficult, and it takes an absolute age to dry. That epoxy stuff I've just got takes 5 minutes. So what I'm going to do, I did think about trying to actually mould the serrated end in it, but I don't think I can do that, because the knob has got to have a recess in it to fit over the nut that holds the pot on. Otherwise it sits above the nut, and it always looks a bit clunky then to me. You want the knob to kind of, like this one basically has got like a big cutout in it, so the flange of it, or the outside edge, will sort of be just above the pick guard and look nice. So what I'd thought of doing is, I could press that in the epoxy, that serrated part, and do it all in one, but I can't, because if I could get a long bit of that kind of serrated thing, then I could actually do that. But as it is, it's got like a little groove around the bottom of it that will hold all the glue and everything, so you'd never be able to pull it out. But looking at this one, it actually hasn't got any serrations in it. It's just a hole. So what I'm going to do is, this is all touchy-feely stuff, is I've put a drill and a bit of wood that I can like rest in the mould, try and centre it best I can over the knob, and I can see a little pip at the apex of the knob. So if I can do that, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm just trying it. So I'm going to mix it up, put it in there. This is too small a hole, but it will give me something to start working with. So yeah, I'll mix up some epoxy and we'll mould a knob, and hopefully in like 10-15 minutes we'll see whether we get a result or not. Let's go for it. Well, okay then, I don't want to move it, but here I've mixed up the epoxy, poured it in, dropped the drill in. I can see quite a few air bubbles in it, and I tried to do the old flame trick, and it did sort of get rid of the air bubbles, but this glue is a lot more viscous than you know, the resin is. So I had some success with getting the tiny bubbles out, but it set light to the silicone a little bit, so I didn't want to carry on with that. So I tapped it. I've been tapping it on the table, but now I'll leave it. So I think it's just really a question now of yeah, what will be, what will be. So we'll see how that turns out, and if it's successful, it will be a good start to making a knob. Obviously there'll be a bit of cleanup in it and things like that to do, but that won't be a problem. Then I'm still going to paint it. I'm kind of, my dream result would be if the stuff was transparent and really nice, so I could sort of you know, polish the top of it so it's clear, and then just paint the ring around the edge, sort of thing, so it would look somewhat like, for you people of my age, Robbie the Robot's head, but cross flying saucer sort of thing. But we'll see what happens. I mean, it's all a bit in the lap of the gods, isn't it? Really, something it's a bit of a far-fetched one, but we'll see. We may be lucky, we may not be. We may be going back to the wooden knobs, and that will be that. But we'll see. Good. Well, okay then. While I've been waiting for that knob to dry, I've put the tuners on, and I've got these little shallow baby ones which were given to me. Blooming excellent. But live now, so we've got our attempt at casting the knob, which looks like nothing. Now, before I put it in the mould, I just put a swipe of this wax on the mould. I don't think you need it on silicone, but I did anyway, just a really fine wipe, and also I did on the drill as well, so hopefully that'll come out, but we'll see. So live, let's have a go. Still a bit sticky, but that actually looks quite promising actually. I mean, oops, I know it doesn't at the moment, but so let's leave that set a bit more. I'm surprised it's still a bit sticky. It might be a result of having the wax on it or no air getting to it, but that actually looks pretty good. The actual, my attempt at putting the actual drilling looks like a disaster, because I can see it's off center, but I mean, I can pull that out and fill it with glue. I mean, it's nearly actually through the top. I didn't realize it was that deep. Well, I mean, it's not through the top, but so yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm going to leave that set a bit more. I'm surprised that's still sticky, but I guess there's no air getting to it, so I mean, it's solid, but I don't know how I'm going to be able to get that drill out. That may be a faux pas to do the drill there. Don't know, let's try. Put it in the vise and give it a tug. Careful not to. That seems to have stuck, so maybe that round one is a disaster. Maybe. I thought I did put wax round it, but so I think apart from that, it's actually come out quite well. has stuck. It may just need a little tap. Let's have a look. What have I got here? Don't know. I mean, it should come off because it was waxed, but this is a pathetic tool anyway. Oh, I can see it coming loose. There we go. That's a bit of luck. And here it comes. Oh, pop. Well, there we go. That's not bad, is it, really? I mean, you can't see much there now, but I'm gonna, it's all tacky sort of thing. So I'm actually gonna just leave it, like I say, leave it set, but a bit of sanding and polishing, and I think that will come out really nice. So result, and I can see that shaft is a stupid thing to have done. What I'm going to do is I'll mix up some glue and cast another one now, and I'll fill that hole with glue again, and I'll drill that once the knobs are done, sort of thing. So that's pretty damn good. I mean, once you've clean up all this shite around the bottom, this waste, I think we'll have a good flying saucer if I can stop chucking it around. So I mean, the annoying thing with this glue I used is that, of course, you know, you think you've got tons in the tube, but most of it's air. So lucky I bought 2 of them, eh? So yeah, we'll go from there now, and I'll just cast another one up. So, wow, that was a surprise. Chocks away. Cheers. Oh, I think that's all I was going to say, so I'll just get casting another one now. Okay, while the knobs are drying, I mean, it's about time I started thinking of winding this guitar up. I polished it yesterday, and okay, it could do with more of a polish, which it will get, but you know, they're meant to be like sort of cheap and cheerful fun guitars, and I don't want to spend too much time on them, otherwise it sort of, you know, it counteracts the reason for doing them, sort of thing, which is, you know, just to get some guitars built and something a bit different. I'm not after like you know, exacting sort of fit and finish here. I mean, they are, you know, they're perfectly good, but they're meant to be a fun, quick project. Now, this actually looks a bit bodgy, but believe me, it's actually quite not. I mean, I'm putting the pickups in now, and you can remember that we basically bent the pickup feet the other way round, so we didn't have to have any side you know, holes cut and use pickup rings. So these screws now, the height adjustment screws, go in from underneath. The problem you have with that, obviously, is that, you know, you only have that depth of the foot there as the adjustment, which is enough, but with these pickups pushed all the way into the guitar, the pickups stick up by about at the very most by 1/8 of an inch, which would make them too low, which is fine. So we want to raise them up, but they have to raise up by, you know, probably about 1/4 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch to you know, be able to use the ABR bridge, the pneumatic bridge. Now, the problem I think I'm gonna get is the fact that the springs are going to be sandwiched between, you know, the bottom of the guitar, the bottom of the pickup cavity, and the bottom of this bent foot, and the springs are going to be very compressed. There's not going to be much room for springs, basically. So if you have a very, very compressed spring, that's not necessarily a problem, but we'll have to cut the springs quite short. And I think as soon as you start adjusting the pickups up, the spring will lose its springiness. So what I'm doing is I've actually glued a bed of foam, square block of foam in here, and I actually much prefer that to springs because it gives a much flatter pad for the pickup to sit on and stop it rocking. And, you know, there's the pickup now up there with the padding in, and you can see it's still nice and stable. It's not rocking or jammed against the edge of the pickup thing, and you can push that now right down to there, which is plenty low enough. So I'm hoping that will work really well. And I do like the foam padding on the back of pickups because, like I say, it gives much more of a, you know, a surface for the pickup to squash down on. So we'll see how that goes now. But what we've got to do now is work out what sort of length screws we want. What I think I'll try and do is actually fit the screws in, see how far I can screw them in, and then be able to judge how much we've got to cut off. So, but I think it's going to be a real pain in the ass trying to get the screws through here into the pickups. Might not be, but probably will be. So, to save you hearing a load of expletives, I'll switch you off for a while. Well, Christ on a bike, they went straight in without any problem at all. So you can see where the pickup is there. Now that's with the screws put in as far as I can go. So they're actually touching the bottom of the pickup. Now they've gone through the bracket, threaded through the bracket, and they're touching the bottom of the pickup. So I can measure now if I actually cut like well, that much and a bit more off the screw, then we should be all right. So that was quite simple. So I basically, you know, want to cut 1/4 of an inch off the screws, and we should be all right. And that will give me a, you know, a lowest point somewhere around there, which is going to be plenty low enough. Yeah, so that's great. Let's get them unscrewed and cut the screws down and go from there. Okay, well, surprisingly easy, but here's the pickup in, so it's still got its protective film on. Now, that's the lowest it goes, so that's plenty low enough. You can see the top of the fretboard is significantly above the pickup. So let's adjust it up now and see how the adjustment works. So I've now adjusted it up. Okay, it's tipping a bit forwards, but you can see that's probably going to be plenty high enough. What I might do is take it out and put a bit of padding at the front of the pickup, because where the pole screws go through I didn't put any foam, and I think I probably need some foam in there just to so the back doesn't get pushed up. I don't think it'll settle nicely. Yeah, it's a shame. I'm going to have to take it out again, but no great problem really. I can put some foam right at the front to hold to jack the front up, because I put the pickup the foam behind the pickup behind the pole pieces, so it's got more pressure at the back than the front. But I'll take it out and put some at the front, but I'm well happy with that, so that's really good. Surprisingly easy. Let's just get that extra foam in. Well, hi there, just finish of play today. I cannot believe how easy those pickups went in. Ridiculous. So we've just got those 4 little screws on the back now that do the height adjustment, and what we've got, we're going to have the bridge there, so you can see, you know, that's the pickup in about middle of its travel, and we've got, you know, got plenty of room over it for the bridge obviously, and it can go up a little bit, you know, plenty. So I'm really surprised at that. That was an absolute total success, and you can see, you know, they're nice and stiff in there with the foam, and they've no tendency to tip or wobble or anything like that. The only thing I had to do was on the back pickup, because the hole was a bit tight to get the wire through, I had to take the insulation off the outside of the wire on the bridge pickup to get it through the hole, but all the separate wires have come through all right, so no real thing. But I didn't want to drill a bigger hole, because you can just see that little, I don't know if you can see that mark, that's actually the top of the hole for the wire channel, so it started to take the paper off, and I didn't want that visible, so I didn't want to drill a bigger hole. I mean, if I needed even a bit more room, I could have, like, these are 5-wire pickups or 4-wire pickups or whatever, you know, I could have, I'm not going to do coil tapping or anything in it, so I could have done the, you know, I could have literally done the soldered the two, you know, the white and the green wire together, and just run the earth and the hot wire through, so it'd be like a normal PAF pickup or something. But yeah, there was no need, that's all right. So the neck pickup still got its insulation on it, but I just had to take it off the back. So that was surprisingly good. And maybe let's see if we can finish off with getting a knob out. Get me knob out of here. Let's get a screwdriver, lever it out, and see what we've got. So there's my next flying saucer knob. Now don't ask me why this one is clear and that one's opaque. I have no idea at all. That was one set of tube of glue, and that was the other tube of glue, so I don't know why they're different colours. No idea. I don't really care. So I can leave those dry overnight and clean them up tomorrow, and they should be good. So yeah, that's cool. Quite a successful day then with the old little mould for my flying saucer knob. So great stuff. That's a successful day, I'd say, and getting those pickups in was, my God, that was a, I was thinking about that and thinking about that. I wonder how this will go, and like, perfect. So brilliant. We're really getting on with this now, and should look good. So this can go on. I'll give it one more polish, I think, tomorrow, and then screw that on, and we start in assembly. Then I've got the electronics on order, well, electronics switch, pickup switch, I've got old pots lying around. Just really the only last thing I'll probably need is getting the aluminium, one of these aluminium sheets, so I can cut the control panel out of, and then we'll be all quite good. Great stuff. See you tomorrow, maybe. Might do a bit of golf tomorrow though, so it might be the day after. Doesn't really matter when they come out all on video, does it? So there we go. Pleasing day. Good. Oh, hi and welcome back to 3R Guitars. A minor little job. We were doing the moulding the knobs and seeing how they'd come out, and I'm really pleased. Here's one. I've cleaned up now the bottom part of it, and here you can see what it looks like. The finish on the outside of them is not great. I mean, it's not a mould in resin as such. I'm sure if you know, I'm sure the mould is smooth. I can feel that, but you know that it remained a bit sticky, but that would be very easy to clean up. So what I've got to do now is do the holes in the bottom, and the way I start doing this is like I've introduced you to this, one of my old drafting aids. This thing is bloody brilliant. Basically, I've found the hole that's exactly the same size as this. So this knob fits. Is a push fit through there, so it's perfect. And these plate of holes, as they call, have the center line marks on them, so I can oh, I've forgotten my glasses, I left it in the house, but I can mark the center line in here. Got the 4 marks now of where the center is, and so I can try and do this really carefully, because you don't want the knob wobbling around on the shaft of the potentiometer. So we've got the center mark there now, and what I want to do is I don't just want to drill a hole for that serrated part on there. I want to drill a clearance hole for the nut, so I've put like a clearance in it, and then a sort of a not very deep hole to clear the threaded part, so when you push the knob on, it will go over the nut. And you know, like the strat knob sort of thing, so it doesn't like sit on top and you can see the nut and stuff underneath. I want it to sit flush with the top of the pick guard, really, with only a tiny gap. So now we've got to start drilling those holes, so I'll take you over to the drill press. Well, hi there. And what I'm fortunately, like this drill table, I mean, they've all got a hole there sort of thing, but it actually holds the knob quite well. And even if I tried to drill a piece of wood out and do a similar sort of holding jig, I don't think I'd get any better than that. So I've centered the table, and the drill comes down right on that center there. So I'm just going, this is just a pilot hole, just a short, small pilot hole. That's all I want to do with that. So now this is the Frosner bit I'm going to use to cut like a shoulder down to clear the nut. You can see that's bigger than the diameter of one of those nuts on there. So that's what I'm going to use to do that. So let's just replace this now. Check that this is coming down, and that's right on the hole. So I'm not sure of that. Was that the one? Let's see, let's just drill it and see if it clears. Doesn't look in the center to me, but let's see if it clears that. Yeah, I'm going to take this nut off here and just check that it clears it. Oh yeah, there's plenty of clearance in there. I'm going to recheck the center on this, see if I've got it right, because I don't really want the knob to turn on a, you know, an off-center sort of thing. So I'm going to check that. Well, here we are. I've got the final drill in to cut the hole for the serrated top on the knob, and I've set it up. You know, it should be about right, so you'll see. Right, okay, we've done that. So now we've got the holes cut. I mean, they're not perfect. I mean, this is not a lathe, so it's not, you know, it just drills holes sort of thing. So we're doing the best we can, but you know, you look on there, push that in, and you've got, you know, the knob goes round and looks really nice. So there we go. If I take you back over here, that was the second knob I did, you know, and I'm really pleased with that. I mean, that's perfect, you know, going round there. I've already done this one and sprayed it like a silver for now. It's a pretty rough finish, this one, and this one's a lot better. And I think the main problem with this was that I put wax on the silicone, and but I mean it's all within sounding distance sort of thing. So, but you know, we got two identical flying saucer knobs for the guitar. I know it's a ridiculous bloody thing. Why not just stick any knob on it? But you know, I kind of like doing this sort of thing, because I know I'll get someone ask me, well, where did you get those knobs from? You know, oh, I made them, you know. And I don't know, be what, you know, whatever you think is fine. You may think, well, just bung a couple of Telecaster knobs on it or something, but yeah, this is the sort of thing that I like doing, you know, and just experimenting with stuff. Some doesn't work out, some does. So there we go. So what I'll do now, I'll get sand in them, probably put them in the drill press with a drill in there, spin them and polish them, and see how good I can get them. So thank you all. Well, hi there, welcome back to 3R Guitars. Couple of things today. Right, we've got the two knobs now. I mean, they're not a perfect finish, but they are good. And I've sprayed them just with a chrome paint from Halfords. I think it's from Halfords, or I bought it from, where is it? Whatever, Rust-Oleum Chrome. Remember, I've got a classic car, and the headlight bowls were dull, and the MOT bloke had a fit about it, so I sprayed them with that chrome stuff, and it still wasn't chromy enough. But anyway, that's why I've got it. Now, the thing with using, I mean, I normally only use cellulose paints, but that stuff is enamel, I'm sure, and you can't put cellulose over enamel, it'll wrinkle. But I've got some, also bought for my car, I've just got some spray varnish, which is an enamel varnish. And if you ever want a really good paint that I thoroughly recommend, I was doing my car, and because I don't really know what paint is on it, and I didn't want to use cellulose because, you know, it can be quite fussy. I used enamel paint, which is basically, you know, used really for brush painting, but you can spray it. And I bought this stuff from the Paint Man online. Oh my God, what a good paint. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to risk it a bit, and I'm just going to dip these in the clear lacquer and see what it turns out like. So we'll have a go. The thing I'm worried about with you know, the chrome unprotected, so to speak, I think your fingers will wear it off fairly quickly. So with this lacquer on top, I think it will be nice. Obviously dipping isn't the best thing, but I didn't want to brush it in case it like disturbed the chrome. But we'll just see how it goes. I'm sure anything that's going to run off them will just run off, because this stuff is thinned for spraying anyway, so, you know, it's not thick and gloopy. But there we go. I mean, that looks all right, kind of thing, and it just adds that layer of protection for your fingers on them. So I'm happy with that. What I'll do now is just clamp them in here. Try not to bash them against anything. Let's put one that side and just nip it up and see if I can get this one in that side. Yeah, I think we're okay there. So we can let that let those set up now. I don't need them too quickly. Lid on. Get that out of the way. Now on to the next bit. So what we got today through the post, we got the aluminium, but I mean, I noticed it's really been bashed up around here. There's some like quite nasty gouges in it, which is a bit disappointing. I mean, this is a protective film, but it looks as though it's been like friggin' whacked there a few times. Got the plastic thing. It's not quite big enough like that, but I can certainly just tip it up a little bit, and I don't have to see that side. Yeah, if I put it like that, I think I can avoid the scratched areas. That's annoying, that actually. That's like pretty bad. Very disappointing. But hey ho, I mean, the trouble is the back side of it is like a brushed aluminium, which I don't really want. Well, I wonder this side might be brushed as well. Let's check. Slightly brushed, but to be honest, there's not much difference between which side. This one's got marks all over it, but shame it won't go that wide. I'll be missing a little bit off the end. So, well, let's do it this side anyway. That's the side I'm supposed to use, and I can draw on that plastic. So yeah, I'll get that drawn on then. We'll get that cut out. There we go. You can just cut that out there. I don't know. It is frustrating, isn't it? Oh well, anyway, get that drawn. I've changed the bandsaw blade over, so we're back to the metal cutting bandsaw blade, and we'll go from there. Okie doke.